River March, a new and foreign concept to me personally, but it's one of the most beautiful experiences I've had while I was in Khagrachari. In many parts of the world, river marches are organized as acts of climate advocacy, people coming together to raise awareness about environmental issues. But what made this one so unique was how the Tripura community infused it with their own cultural and spiritual practices. It wasn't just a march, it was a deeply rooted ceremony tied to their beliefs, traditions, and their relationship with nature. To really understand what that looked like and felt like, you'll have to watch the entire video. So let's dive in. So we're going to an event today. It's a, what is it called? March? Or is it a rally?
River March.
It's called a river march, and it's about cultural connection of the Tripuras with the environment, I think. That is something that I cannot wait to explore. So let's see what Khagrachari has to offer this year.
Khagrachari.
So we're in Khagrachari, and this is our second day. So I was headed to meet Lam and Dinesh while I was with Ma Hla. At the time, I had zero ideas what was gonna happen, and the only thing I knew at the time was we were headed to River March.
It's the capital of Bangladesh, Tripura. Capital city, no town.
According to Lam.
No, according to Tripura.
We had zero plans that day, so we just decided to tag along. We headed towards Khagrachari, capital of the Tripuras in Khagrachari, according to everyone here. And then we met up with Tushadi, who was leading the entire event. And we got up in an age-old vehicle that I haven't seen in over a decade. After waiting for a while for people to get on board, we started heading towards our destination, from where we were supposed to start our river march from. And it was not easy sitting on roof of this vehicle. After spotting the banner, I got my first real clue. They were actually going to walk through the river, and that's exactly what happened. বাঁশি বাজাবে?
হ্যাঁ বাজানোর জন্য কারণ হচ্ছে যে ওই সবাই রেডি হচ্ছে
We had a brief hold as they were collecting all the necessities for the journey. Their slogan was about living in harmony with nature, and that was my first clue at the time. We started marching forward as they finished. Even though I said it's a march, at the time I wasn't really sure if it was an excursion, a campaign, or a cultural and religious event. And the river march began. For the four of us going on a river march for the first time, we didn't know how far we were supposed to go, crossing the river side by side with people I just got to know. It was an interesting event for me, seeing people coming here and collectively supporting the event. Even though I was smiling and moving, I realized how far we've come, and it was getting really, really tough for me. And thankfully, Dinesh was carrying my backpack. As we made our way along the route, I started noticing animal sacrifices happening as part of the day's ritual. If you're curious about what that meant and why it was done, you might want to stick around. And then we came across this interesting hole, which in Myanmar we call it the Myatong, and water comes out of it naturally, where we quenched our thirst. Okay, we're walking deep in the jungle. Where are we right now? After walking forward for a while, we met up with a priest, or pujari, who's also known as Ochai in their language. Ochai is responsible for performing religious ceremonies, and we were about to see some interesting stuff, and he was waiting for us to arrive. While we moved ahead of the crowd, the older women from Naitang clan were singing. The Naitang clan is known for their tonality and unique songs they make in Tripura's language. We kept walking for about an hour and a half to 2 hours before reaching the destination. And soon after we arrived at the location, they started making a small ritual altar with bamboo and leaf. The ritual was to take blessings from the river goddess for good health and fortune. The Tripuras usually perform this ritual every year around the same time as the arrival of their new year, they call it Boishu. This ritual is very similar to Hari Boishu, but different ritual and about renewal and giving sacrifice to the river goddess. Meanwhile, on the other side, the women were busy getting the meal ready for the ceremony as the sacrifice took place. It's one of the most raw and powerful moments of the whole day. The blood from the animal is gently placed over their eyes, an offering that people then touch to their foreheads as a blessing. Then comes the part with the leaf. If it flips in a certain way, uneven way, not mirroring both sides, is believed to be a sign that the offering has been accepted.
সবার সাথে বড় আর কি আপনার বয়স কত 80 না
The event wasn't just about cultural and religious practice, it was also about protecting the environment and building awareness around it. It was a campaign fused with the cultural and religious practice. I think it's really innovative, I'm not gonna lie. So there's this issue that's going on in the Chittagong Hill Tracts, and most of the time, the people living in remote areas suffered the most. We can start with plastic pollution, but one of the most underlying issues that we face is water scarcity caused by teak plantation, and the collection of resources without any planning, such as natural rocks which divert the waterways. It's because of not respecting nature and introducing things that are artificial. So it wasn't just an event today. They connected like a lot of things, like ritual and stories, cultural stories, music. They connected it with the importance of environment and climate change. Teak plantation is like the one of the blooming and one of the like trending businesses in the Chittagong Hill Tracts, even in Bandroban. But the problem with teak plantation is that you cannot actually reliably depend on it because of how environmentally impacting it is. It consumes all the water, all the groundwater. The Chittagong Hill Tracts, especially those living in the hills and remote areas, have to suffer from water shortage during summers and especially in the summer. Even though like we have rainy season, but the devastating things like water scarcity is very common, and it really impacts them and their livelihood. So yeah, this wasn't just some traditional ceremony happening in isolation, it was a smart, meaningful fusion of culture and climate action. Like imagine blending ancient rituals with modern environmental concerns. It just hits different. While the prayers and sacrifices were happening, people were also talking about the problems we were facing. Plastic pollution, water shortages caused by collection of rocks, and how things like teak plantations are messing up natural water flows. It was kind of eye-opening for me to see how they're using their own customs to raise awareness and protect the land they live on. So I realized River March wasn't just about marching towards the river, it was also about protecting the ecology. So the Ochai explained why the Tripuras practice this and has been part of their lifestyle for generations. The ritual was an offering thanking Tuima, the river goddess, for sustaining life in these remote hills through her waters, recognizing nature's vitality as the source of all existence. While I didn't understand a word they were saying throughout the event, I'm glad I had Lam and Dinesh who helped me to understand the entire motive of the ritual. A cultural show started right after lunch. Watching it, I recognized the Tripura community's wealth of unique tunes and their profound spiritual connection to the flute, particularly evident in the Kerbai's performance of the Goria ritual. If you haven't watched that video, do check it out. It's awesome.
শেষ
The older ladies of the Naitong clan began their traditional folk song, a genre renowned for its unique melodies and themes of youthful love. The melodies reminded me of Kapia from Marma's culture. I didn't understand what was being said, but their melodies connected with me. Eventually, the day came to a close after the final performance, and it was time to head back. I showed up thinking this was just a cultural gathering, but I'm leaving with a deeper understanding of how powerful it is when tradition meets purpose. This wasn't just about rituals, it was about raising awareness, protecting nature, and reconnecting with what really matters. A huge shout out to Back to the Roots, the local nonprofit in Khagrachari that brought this all together. Honestly, if more organizations took a page from their book, blending culture with climate consciousness, we could see more sustainable, grounded ways to care for the environment that actually speak to the people living in it. If you love the content, follow my page for more. I love exploring the indigenous cultures and love documenting them. So if you want to see more content like these, stay tuned and see you in the next one.
1200 ফুট না
Mani bung subai malai hai sibai malai hai khan ga de rai da ba ra ha kuma pa ra hai chuan sung mani bu kui pang thak gula chi bu krai tong ma tai kunai ha guru oi ang lai birani khabar hai jara hai Hako ra hai tôi xa lại con thằng ca bông của anh thằng ca tôi don't say cái tôi được hai ai tôi don't say cho tôi ai nó này tôi don't là gì đó ai nó nói ra mà này sao mà ra tung khai ta có sao mà ra tung khai Hangara tôi ai nó ra mà para mà khai tôi hai
এগুলোকে কি বলে হ্যাঁ